In this video, I'm going to quickly show you how easy it is to deploy Pivotal Hadoop using this Vagrant project. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to install Pivotal Hadoop cluster using this Vagrant project. Before doing that, there are some prerequisites, some files that needs to be downloaded. All the file links are given here in the same project. You can click each one of them and go to the appropriate location on the internet where you can download these files from. Then we'll clone our project into one of the directory, move all these files into the same directory, and just issue a command vagrant up, and it's going to issue us an Ambari server and 3 Hadoop nodes. On one of them we will install the name node, and the rest of them will come to data nodes or slave nodes. So let's start. So first what we'll do is I will show you what exactly are we doing here. So this Vagrant project basically automate all these steps mentioned in this section, installing Pivotal Hadoop with Ambari. So it does all these things that are mentioned here and gets 4VM ready for you to just browse to Ambari server and create the cluster. So first thing we will do is we'll clone this project into one of our folder. So let me just start doing that. Git clone, get the URL of the project from GitHub page. First thing we'll do is clone this project into any of the folder in our local drive. I'll say click clone, and the path of this project, it's going to create a folder called Vagrant PhD and to download all the files of the project. So we'll go browse into Vagrant PhD folder. Now we have these files. Now we need to download all the dependencies or the prerequisites which are mentioned here. So that I can do by just clicking each one of them and going to the product page and download these files. Since I've already downloaded all these files and I've put them to one of the folders, so what I'll do is I'll just link them back here. So let me just bring my script. So what I'll do is I'll link all the files that I've downloaded into the current directory. Some of these files, when I was downloading Chrome converted to tar, some of them are tar.gz. So once I've moved all the files, this is how my directory looks like. See Ambari. So let me just show you what other files. I have to move a zip file also. Okay, so what we have here is the Ambari, the paths, the PhD util. This README is part of the project. This unlimited JDK file, policy file. We have Hawk plugin here, and we have everything. So now all we need to do to create the cluster is just say Vagrant up. That's it. And then wait for a while because it's going to download everything that it needs. It's going to issue 4 VMs. Okay, so what it's doing right now, it's creating the Ambari server. Provided all the files are available that are mentioned in the project here, if they're available in the directory, it's going to work fine. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video until this whole 4 machines are provisioned. So Ambari server has been completed and Pivotal Hadoop node 1 is now being created. So now it's going to create 3 nodes for Hadoop, and we'll wait out until they're ready. Okay, so the provisioning is finished, so now we can check the status. Vagrant status it's gonna say 4 machines running. So now all we need to do is to browse to the Embody server by just clicking the link in this page. It's the same GitHub page. Just click the link here, and that's it. You're ready to roll. Admin is the password for the admin user. You can click the launch install wizard. It's going to start the wizard to install the cluster. So once your name, you just can say PhD test. Next. So here you are going to need some URLs of the installed Yum repositories. So basically, this Vagrant project does this for you, and the URLs are available in the same GitHub project. So I'll just browse to the GitHub page again. Down here we have all the URLs mentioned. So for PhD it's this one. Can go here, type in PhD, go to here, PhD utils, the URL is this one. Okay, so that's all we need to do. We say next, and here we need the private key and the host names. So the host names by default are phd1.local domain, phd2.local domain, and phd3.local domain. For the private key, what we need to do is to log into the Embody server. You can go saying Vagrant SSH Embody, and then just type this command. Switch to the root. Vagrant is the password, and then say more SSH ID. So this file has the private key. So all I'm going to do is to copy this guy and paste it in here. That's it. And then you can say register and confirm. It's going to ask you are not fully qualified domain. So let me just see what is that. Okay, sorry, it needs to be 1 per line. So here we go. So now it's going to start the configuration. Once it says success here, it means the Embody agents are installed successfully. So that's it. And now we are going to be shown the screen to select the components of Hadoop. Okay, so don't worry about these warnings, because some of these warnings are not relevant. Just make sure that we don't have any warning other than the transparent huge page issues. Everything is fine. So we can close this thing, say next, and then it's going to ask us for the services that we need to install. Okay, so what I'll do is to make the footprint small, I will not select HBase, and I'm not going to select Uzi. So everything else is there. If you notice, Hawk is also as a service here, and PXF is there also. So we'll click next. Here we are shown a visual of how everything will be deployed. So I'm going to tweak a little things. I'm going to kill the zookeepers to just 1. I know it's not a good idea, but since it's my local machine, I'm going to keep the service to minimum. And what I'll do is I'll run Hawk Master on PhD3. I mean, you can choose whatever, however you want. It's just my preference. I'm just going to distribute the load over 3 servers, and I'm going to run Nox Gateway also on the third one, Zookeeper on the third one, and I can bring the secondary name node also on PhD3. So I can move this guy here. It looks about right for this demo. So I'll just say next, and then now it's asking me which machines do you want to use for the data node and the node manager and Hawk segment. So remember, Hawk segment need to be where the data node is. So if we are going to select PhD2 for the data node, we need to select Hawk, the same node, and the PXF also. If you need to install PXF, they need to be in all the nodes of your cluster, and PXF also need to be on the name node. So that's what I'll do. I'll just keep one name node and 2 data nodes, slave nodes. And also PXF needs the client, so make sure you install the client wherever the PXF is. So we'll say next. It's gonna ask us a few questions like the passwords for certain services. What I'll do is I'll not tweak these settings for the moment. I'm just gonna type in the passwords to just quickly finish the demo. So I'll just say password is password, password is password, admin at whatever.com, and then I go here, same password, 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 and then Nox. Let's see. Okay, so we're ready, and then we'll say next. It's going to give us a summary of the installation that Dambari is going to do. What I'll do is I'll just print it as a PDF for my information. So I suggest you do the same thing. So you just save it as a PDF. I'm going to save it on the desktop. Dambari demo cluster. Okay, so there we have the file, and now it's going to start the deployment of the nodes. Well, it has just begun. So I'm going to pause the video now because it's going to take a while. Okay, so once the cluster is created, you are going to have a prompt that will ask you to just say okay and give you some details. I wasn't recording when this prompt came, so basically the next screen is this. When you come here, if everything goes right, you should see your cluster working like this. So if during the installation of the cluster or the creation of the cluster some component failed, then you can retry and they should pass, because for me one of the component failed on the third node and I had to just retry and it worked fine. And after that I had to start some services, but everything looks okay now. So this is the cluster created using the Vagrant, and that's it. And that's how easy it is.